The fate of a 50-ton freight train literally rides on this, the railway sleeper. Sleepers provide the base for the metal railway tracks, and for centuries they've been made of wood and more recently concrete. But these sleepers are actually made of plastic. It turns out that certain kinds of plastic are strong enough to support a train because they are flexible enough to buckle instead of break under the weight. Another advantage of using plastic is that it won't weather or rot. So where do they find plastic this tough? Chances are there's some in your household rubbish bin. Up to 120 tons of recycled plastic arrives at this Texas factory every day. The shredded plastic looks like confetti. Surprisingly, it comes from used milk cartons, detergent bottles, grocery bags, and other containers. This common household waste is ideal for railway sleepers because it's heavy-duty, high-density polyethylene. Polyethylene has a strong, dense molecular structure that is both moldable and durable, and it won't melt in the sun. A batch of sleepers starts with 220 kilos of the shredded polyethylene, which is fed into a mixer along with recycled tires, minerals, and other ingredients. The exact mix of minerals is a trade secret, but it gives the sleepers compression strength. Tire rubber gives it resilience and toughness to absorb maximum impact. And it's the recycled plastic bits that bind the mixture together. Grinders inside the machine create so much friction and heat, the ingredients melt into this, a huge black mass that has the consistency of peanut butter. Each batch has enough melted material to make 2 sleepers. Like a giant sausage maker, an extruder uses a huge screw to push the thick, gooey mass into a mold. The mold is 18 centimeters wide and deep and 2.7 meters long, which is the size and shape of the standard sleeper. Lucky that. When filled, the molds weigh over 300 kilos, so a crane hoists them one by one and drops them into a cooling bath. Cool water circulates around the molds to harden the plastic inside. It takes a full 2 hours for the sleepers to harden enough to emerge from the mold. Then a lever opens a door and hydraulic pistons push the plastic sleeper out. It still has a mushy center, so it cools for another 10 hours to completely harden the plastic and rubber into a solid block. Each sleeper undergoes rigorous testing because it would be disastrous for even a single one to fail. The sleeper sits on 2 supports that are 143 centimeters apart, just like they would be in a railway track. A giant arm bears down with 4.5 tons of force to replicate the stress of carrying a 45-ton train. The sleeper should bend up to 2.5 centimeters under the weight. If it doesn't, it's too brittle to support a train and is rejected. Most sleepers pass the test and move down a conveyor, where a hydraulic machine presses hot oily plates onto 3 sides, melting a diamond texture onto the surface. The texture helps the sleeper stay in place by gripping the ballast or gravel that supports the track. If these sides stayed smooth, the tracks might slide and the train could be derailed. the plastic sleepers are stacked in a yard and are taken to the site of the new track, appropriately enough, by train. With each mile of track, a new purpose is found for 2 million recycled bottles, 9 million bags and 10,000 tyres. Who knew so much could be riding on our rubbish?